Or you look at Giddy, and I think he's more of a true inside guy where he's either going to be a Will or a Mike, one of the two. I don't look at him as much as a Sam backer because he's not as long as those great kids. He's like a little more lengthy. He's like Cam Gordon's longer. You look at Jake Ryan, he's longer, bigger, taller, long arms, those things, So, but, at least starting out, maybe, with Mike McCray, there's a Sam or a Mike, and then with Gideon, he's either Will or Mike.
With the depth you have now, I'm guessing that's a spot where all of a sudden, like last year, you couldn't necessarily redshirt a lot of guys there just because of the numbers. Now, is this more of a likely redshirt spot?
Not necessarily. It doesn't have to be. I mean, again, going back to if you're the best guy, we'll play you. So it depends on how quickly they adjust to it and how quickly they can pick up, the speed of the game for high school versus the college. So
how Raymond Poole as far as
both of them are progressing well with their injuries, and those are two kids we haven't talked about because they really haven't had a chance due to injury to do much. So hopefully we get them back out there and throw them into the mix. And right now they both seem to be on schedule to be able to do some things this spring and then hopefully follow everything in the fall.
So they'll be somewhat limited this spring.
As far as I can tell. Again, I'm about 3 hours short of my medical degree, but that's what I've been told. But I'm hoping they're out there.
Yeah.
Because it's just two more guys that are competing for a job, and that's where I think we've really improved. It's just the kids have a competition level about them, and they understand if I don't play well, I'm going to sit down. You look back at last year, Kenny Demons took a little seat towards him. About 2 or 3 games in because he wasn't playing up to expectations. Well, all of a sudden, his play picked up as the season went along. He played better.
Where's Jake get better? Because he had such a good year last year. His redshirt freshman year kind of emerged. Where does he make that next leap?
Well, I think with any player as they get older, the toughest thing is when they've so-called played a lot is don't get complacent and understand that if you think you're as good as you can be, then you're getting worse. You never stay the same. You either get better or you get worse. So I mean, there's leaps and bounds that all these kids can make, even if they played for their first 3 years.
Where specifically can Jake make that?
I think with Jake, it still comes down to a working knowledge of everything that goes on during the course of the game. I mean, instinctively and athletically, obviously he can do all those things, but you like him to be a little more assignment conscious, a little more technique. Improve his technique, using his hands better. He kind of is a forearm football player a little bit. But, one thing Jake has, he's got a great motor, and he plays as hard as anybody on the field.
Because of the experience level he has, is he the guy who almost automatically, at least in the beginning, is making the calls, or is that just getting trusted to
whoever wins the job? By design, we like the Mike Backer to do that, just because he's the one in the middle of everything that's going on. But, it doesn't mean the Sam Backer can't, so... Believe me, it's a process or it's something that all three of them out there, they ought to take charge of them.